It's the nation's first racial justice commission being launched in New York City to root out systematic and institutional racism.
We're here to talk to the community as part of this Racial Justice Commission, which was created by Mayor de Blasio, in order to look at the city charter and look at the inequities that exist in the systems, and to hear from the communities directly as to what those changes should be made in our charter, which is our city's constitution.
Introduced by Mayor de Blasio on March 23rd, the commission is chaired by union leader Henry Garrido, executive director of DC 37, and he's here at the Bronx Museum of the Arts.
Well, we've seen institutional racism in areas like education, affordable housing. We've seen it in community policing. We've seen it in economic development. I think there's an opportunity here to not only identify it, but also the recommendations of the commission are going to be on the for voters to vote in November of 2022.
Before participating herself, Dominique Atchinson shared why she's here.
I'm hoping to hear and experience real change in this community. I've been a resident here for over 30 years, and I just really want to experience something real happen here. I think the biggest issues here are policing, police brutality, and just a general feeling of feeling unsafe for people who pay taxes and go to work every day.
It's really a time for all of the advocacy that you've been a part of, all of the problems that you've seen in the city of New York, things that don't sit well with you with how things work. This time, when there's a Charter Revision Commission, it's a time to bring it up.
For Democratic nominee to New York City Council District 17, Pierna Sanchez, who is an urban planner, wants to see her future constituents included in conversations that impact their neighborhoods.
For example, in my community, we're 98% almost people of color, right? Lower income is our skew. We're a low and moderate income community. You know, for us, a process that was more inclusive and gave more opportunities to get involved, that would mean a process that is serving, you know, the principles of racial justice, right? Because those principles are so important in the governance of our city. And so I just want to, for me, it's housing and land use. Those are the areas that I've worked in. But we also, you know, please, I ask everybody to get involved, to make your voice heard on policing, make your voice heard on, you know, children's services, everything that happens in the city.
Her proposal is to have an agency that provides oversight to other agencies that provide similar services, something Laurie Daniel favors, who sits on the commission, is willing to explore.
We have all of these disparate agencies that oftentimes have overlapping powers, and part of those powers is in some way to address some aspect of racial justice, to ameliorate some particular sort of perpetuated harm. Some of the community members have suggested at previous hearings that perhaps we have an agency who has sort of an omnibus or much bigger bird's eye view citywide that would allow it to evaluate agencies, that would allow it to mandate racial justice impact statements. As you heard, that was another suggestion that was made here today. And so this is something that, you know, as I hear it, as I go from borough to borough, I'm very intrigued by this idea, as a lot of what people are suggesting seems as though it would be neatly fit under this particular idea.
So the Bronx was the last borough to host a hearing. If you like to keep up with the conversation, you can go to nyc.gov/racial justice. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Mukoko.